Good day, everyone, and welcome to my presentation. Today, I will be presenting a comprehensive business ethics analysis of the Boeing company. We will examine how a multi-decade culture shift created severe ethical dilemmas leading to catastrophic safety failures and explore how Boeing can restructure its governance to restore public trust and ensure long-term sustainability. So, to guide our discussion today, I have structured the presentation into five key sections. First, we will quickly review Boeing's operational background. Second, we will dive into the core ethical issues, specifically the 737 MAX and recent 2024 door plugs incidents. Third, we will evaluate the multi-dimensional impacts using a PESTLE framework. Fourth, I will outline actionable recommendations along with their benefits and challenges. Finally, we will conclude with the key takeaway on responsible business decision making. Let's begin with an overview of Boeing. Founded in 1916, Boeing transformed over a century from a small wooden seaplanes builder into one of the world's largest aerospace manufacturers and defense contractors. Operating alongside European rivals Airbus in a commercial duopoly, Boeing employs over 117,000 people globally. Its operations are organized into three primary business units: Boeing Commercial Airplanes, which build commercial jets like the 737 and 787, Boeing Defense, Space and Security, catering to military contracts, and Boeing Global Service, providing aftermarket support and flight analytics. To understand Bowie's ethical failures, we must look at its corporate transformation. Following its 1997 merger with McDonnell Douglas, Bowie's leadership shifted its focus from engineering excellence toward aggressive cost-cutting and short-term Wall Street valuation. This relentless pressure on quarterly stock performance eroded the engineering-first culture that once defined the firm. This created a classic etiquette dilemma. Management continually chose between meeting tight production deadlines to secure the revenue versus halting assembly line to uphold safety, transparency, and public trust. This cultural breakdown led to devastating real-world consequences. To compete with Airbus's fuel-efficient A320neo without investing in a new airframe, Boeing modified the 737 platform with MCAS software. To save client money on pilot retraining, Boeing concealed MCAS details from pilots and regulators. Compound with a single point of sensor failure, this cover-up resulted in two tragic crashes, claiming 346 lives, leading to a $2.5 billion fraud settlement with the DOJ. The crisis persisted into January 2024 when an Alaska Airlines 737 MAX 9 suffered a door plug blowout mid-flight. Investigation revealed the aircraft left the factory missing four critical bolts, highlighting a persistent culture where technicians were pressured to bypass safety locks to meet delivery quotas. Analyzing the impact of these ethical failures through a PESTLE framework reveals widespread fallout. Politically, congressional investigation exposed regulatory capture, forcing lawmakers to restrict Bowie's self-certification power and causing foreign authorities like EASA and CAAC to demand independent safety audits. Economically, Boeing suffered over $20 billion in direct cash drains, credit rating downgrades, and significant market share losses to Airbus. Socially, public trust hit rock bottom. Travel sites even introduced filters allowing passengers to avoid 737 MAX flights, while employee morale plummeted due to a toxic climate that silenced whistleblowers. Continuing our PESTLE evolution, technologically, Boeing was forced to divert innovation capital towards patching legacy software and upgrading digital assembly logs rather than developing cutting-edge airframes. Environmentally, grounding hundreds of aircraft created massive resource waste and chemical treatments, while delivery delays forced airlines to fly older, higher emitting planes longer. Legally, Boeing faced severe criminal fraud penalty, massive wrongful death settlements with crash victims' family, and shareholder lawsuit against the board for breach of fiduciary duty. To address these systemic ethical breaches, Boeing must implement fundamental structural change rather than superficial PR fix. First, Boeing should establish an independent safety and quality assurance directorate isolated from commercial targets. The chief safety officer must report directly to a non-executive board safety committee and hold explicit authority to stop assembly line. Second, the company must create an independently audited whistleblower protection program, offering confidential third-party reporting for assembly technicians with strict anti-retaliation enforcement. Third, Boeing's board must reform executive compensation, decoupling bonuses from stock valuations and tying at least 50% of incentives directly to quality audit score and safeties. Each of these recommendations carry significant benefits alongside operational trade-offs. Creating an independent directorate line stopping authority prevents defective aircraft from leaving factories and restores regulator trust. But it will inevitably cause short-term delivery delays and operational bottlenecks. A robust whistleblower framework empowers technicians to catch flaws early, but overcoming decades of managerial pressure to push volume requires extensive cultural retraining. Finally, aligning exclusive pay with the safety ensures long-term integrity, though it may trigger friction with short-term investors accustomed to share buybacks. Accepting this trade-off, however, is essential for enterprise survival. In conclusion, Boeing's ongoing governance and safety crisis offer a profound lesson for the global business community. When short-term financial optimization replaces engineering standards and ethical decision-making, the resulting operational and reputational damage can severely threaten a firm's growth trajectory. Sustainable market expansion cannot be built on compromised safety protocols. Through operational excellence, transparency, and an uncompromising commitment to public safety are not corporate burden, but the fundamental pillars required to maintain stakeholder trust and secure long-term commercial success. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening my presentation. Have a good day.